Hey everybody, welcome back to Dunkirk Dunes. This is Anzacanarance turn 4. So for Canada, we had 10 to spend. We're going to spend 7 of it on a transport. And for Anzac, we had 31 to spend. We're going to spend 23 of it on 2 fighters and an infantry. So Canada is saving 3 and Anzac is saving 8 for next round. As far as moves go, so Canada doesn't have any actual attacks, but they do have some moves here. So one of these guys in Brazil is going to walk up into French Guiana, and that will actually give them their NO. So that'll be good. Finally, in round 4, the Canadians are going to get their NO. The other thing that Canada is going to do is we're going to pick up 2 of these infantry from Brazil, and we're going to load them onto this transport here. And they're going to go from 85, 1 into 86, 2 into 87. And I'll just drop them off here in French West Africa, just so they're not on the transport. I don't know that it really matters. I don't think anyone can reach them, but why not drop them off? No reason not to. The other thing I'm going to do, actually, this other guy that's in Brazil, I'm going to go ahead and march him up into French Guiana as well. So I think that basically does it for Canada. Oh, the other thing that Canada is going to do, I didn't mark it, but I'm going to do it, is the Canadian fighter in Quebec is going to go 1 up into 121, 2 into 122, 3 into 123, and 4 onto Iceland. Okay. As far as Anzac goes, let's go over here to the Anzac side. So Anzac doesn't have any actual attacks either, but a few good non-combat moves. So this transport in 55 is going to pick up the artillery and infantry that are there in Northern Territory, and it's going to move up here to Celebes in 44 and drop off these 2 units in Celebes and claim that Dutch territory for Anzac. So that'll be worth 3. I might as well go ahead and move them on the income tracker. They were at 19, so we're going to go up 1, 2, 3. That puts them at 22. Okay. And then as far as other non-combat moves, we're going to take our 2 infantry and our anti-aircraft gun and move that up into Queensland. We're going to take these 2 submarines, and they're going to go ahead and set sail. They're in 62. They're going to go 1 into 61, 2 into 56, 3 into 57. They're just going to hang out there for a little bit. Okay, and I think that is basically all the moves for Anzac. Yeah, okay, sorry, I paused that for a second there. I wanted to think about something. But yeah, I think that is essentially it for Anzac and Canada. We'll go ahead and place the units. So the Canadian transport, of course, is going to go in 106. The 2 Anzac fighters and the infantry, of course, are going to go in the factory in New South Wales. And grab a couple of flight stands here. Let's see, in the French, as far as the French go, the French do have one little attack that they're going to perform. So the French fighter that's in Gibraltar can go, let's see if I can separate them out here. So 1 into 92, 2 into 94, 3 into 96, 4 into 98. And then 5, he's going to land in Cairo if he survives. But he's going to go ahead and attack the Italian fleet there. There are 2 submarines, a destroyer, and a transport. And the submarines can't hit the plane, so they're not really involved in the battle. But that fighter is going to take on the destroyer and, of course, the transport if he can get past the destroyer. So what we're going to have is we're going to be rolling a 3 for the French fighter, and the Italian destroyer will roll a 2. So I've got these here, just using Grasshopper's battle dice. The blue is the 3, the green is the 2. I could actually roll these together. Guess there's no reason not to. So let's go ahead and do that. Hoping for a blue hit and a green miss. Okay, we got what we were hoping for. So what that means is that the destroyer has been hit by the French fighter, and there's no need to roll for the transport. It's going to end up being auto-killed by the French fighter, and that is basically going to do it for the French, and then they're going to go ahead and land in Cairo. Okay, so just make sure that I move those to the boneyard here at the end. But let's go ahead and do a recap of disposition of forces. So starting with, well, actually, let's do the income here before that. So Canada is at 9 on the income tracker, plus they're going to get their national objective, so they're going to add 9, 10, 11, 12, and they carried over 3, so that is going to give them 15 for next round. Okay, and then Anzac is at 22, and for their NOs, the first one they don't get because, of course, we lost Malaya. But the second one, we do have Dutch New Guinea, New Britain, and the Solomon Islands. So we're going to get 5 for that. So that's going to add 22 plus 5 is 27, plus the 8 that they carried over. So 27 plus the 8 they carried over is 35, is what Anzac is going to have for next round. As far as disposition of forces, so I'm going to start over here with the Canadians. So in Quebec, we've got an infantry and artillery. In 106, we have a transport. In Iceland, we have a fighter. In Scotland, we have 2 infantry. Let's see, coming down here, French Guiana, we have 2 Canadian infantry. In C-Zone 87, we've got 1 Canadian transport. In French West Africa, we've got 2 Canadian infantry. Let's see, sliding over here, in Egypt itself, Cairo, we have 2 Canadian infantry. And coming over here to Anzac's side in Calcutta, we've got 2 Anzac fighters. Sumatra, there's 1 infantry. Java, 1 infantry. Celebes, an infantry and artillery. C-Zone 44, there's a transport. Dutch New Guinea, there's an anti-aircraft gun and an infantry. Solomon Islands, there's an infantry. Queensland, we have 2 infantry and an anti-aircraft gun. New South Wales, we have an infantry and 2 Anzac fighters. C-Zone 62, we've got a transport. And C-Zone 57, we've got 2 subs. As far as the French disposition of forces, we have, I didn't move that guy, but he's okay there. Anglo-Egyptian Sudan, we've got 1 French infantry. In Cairo, we have a French fighter, C-Zone 81, there's a French destroyer. Syria, there's a French infantry. Algeria, there's 2 French infantry. And in London, there are also 2 French infantry. So I think that does it for disposition of forces. Kind of have a tradition of showing you the losses for the round, so go over and show that to you. So a few additional neutrals, some German infantry, a couple of German U-boats, German transport, a handful of Russian infantry. Finally, a pile of Japanese infantry. There's a couple of U.S. infantry and a couple of Chinese infantry. Pile of UK stuff, pile of Anzac stuff, and those 2 Italian units that were just lost this round. But those are the losses for this round. I think that does it, guys. Thanks for watching, and on we go to round 5.